They have released the dog. I'm Lil Rick the gamer, do it 100% gamer, bro. No one else working hard, I would do it for the damage. Can't contain my flow. I need to play a game for sure. Maybe RTS, RPG, or maybe even MMO. Howdy, everybody, and welcome back to another Lucid Adventure Idle RPG video. And I need you to hit that like and subscribe button as I post content daily, people, daily. You can also catch us in the Discord. Link to that will be in the description box below, as well as the pinned comment below. Now let's get into this video. So today we're going to be talking about Master Swordsman. You can see in this battle already putting them hands onto things. And we're going to talk about why he put those hands onto things in this video. Yeah, like my guy. We're going to start off a little bit in here. And got him be looking all cool and everything. We got his stats all nice for the battle and everything. But he's a physical DPS that I've been working on and building. These kind of like the most investment I have on a character currently, getting him ready and training. I believe right now I'm doing Battle Force and everything. We're on an experience run because we got our 14-day tickets and we on an experience run, and I'm just testing out some different combinations for team comps and everything. I'm probably going to take this team comp in particular into Cobalt, another place where he's really good. And here's our PvP battle. We're probably going to get smashed on because Plat 1 is just ridiculous. Look at that. Ugh. That was horrible. But he's a physical DPS that is really good for Cobalt because, Cobalt are magic units that have magical defenses and that can be immune to magic damage. So you need a physical DPS to bring in there. Of course, you still will bring Osgod just because she poops on everything. High magic defense? No match for Osgod. But if it was a magic immunity, then she kind of sucks. So it's like, I needed something to back up Lubu, and I thought Swordsman was going to be like that guy, which, in my opinion, you probably can use anybody that's a physical DPS, more or less on that kind of aspect. So I wanted to test him out. Now, he doesn't really hit airborne enemies, but he does take down enemies on the ground relatively easy. He has like multi-hits and everything, all of that kind of good stuff. He does have a skill. Where is it? The skill. Does it wanna? Because he got a lot of skills, or at least a few skills. Not sure which skill it is. I'm just looking at it wrong. I think it's this skill up here. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. There's a little activation effect on Sun Dragon Sword. Now it says the critical damage will be applied in 0 to 30% rate when attacking, and increase 20% additionally when Shout is activated. So let's go here to Shout, and it says activates when maintenance is used, and the target will be granted with attack up effect. So you get your attack buff, and that's when maintenance is in use. His last skill here says teleports to the back and grants the Shout effect on an ally with the lowest HP, attack up amount to 20% because I got it 22% because I got it mastered. So it's like a combo of his skills, which grants an attack buff and gets some extra crit damage on top of it. So if you don't know already, he scales off of crit damage. So I'm just gonna kind of go over to my stats real quick, and you see we're on our farming gold build at the moment, which we shouldn't be on our gold build because we done farming gold. We should be on our swift build. Alright, so stats slightly changed here, but if we was on our damage build, it'd probably be a little more. But you can see we got a considerable amount of crit damage here with 1.41A. Probably blow that up on the screen so you can kind of see where it is currently. So want to get as much crit damage on him as possible, and you got to have a decent amount of crit rate to back it up as well. which we have 189.33% right now. And yes, you go over that 100% mark on your stats just because there are things called critical invasion. So, the ability to invade the crit damage. So, you got right here, which I'm not sure how large that stat goes because it's not one that I've been paying attention to, but I will be looking to pay attention to in the near future. So his skills, are mostly damage based, and we can get into some of his other skills, which early on he wasn't really the character to pick. I mean, you can use him. You can use him if you want, if that's your fancy. If you didn't like Lubu as a character, you can use him. He's a bit slower than Lubu on clear time, so you'll be spending a little more time clearing. But as you can see here, my team's not having any problems clearing anything. But just in that aspect. So what I have noticed, like, if you focus in on his DPS skills, he's going to be able to do a lot of damage, no problem. Get his crit damage, his crit rate, his attacks up. But you definitely want to get his like defensive skills up too, because he's going to be in the face. It's not like Lubu who runs across the screen, so he's going to take a less damage because of it. He's more stationary, so his invasion is important to build up, and his physical and magical defenses as well. Now, one of the skills that's going to be key for him is his uh, coercion. If I'm pronouncing that right, probably not. This skill is going to give you the monster weakening. Now, his he get relatively early on, so you don't really get much out of it. Only plus 30, but that's 30 levels that the enemy lose. So that's going to be real good for you to invest in and max as much as you can. It's really strong. So we go through. He got some accuracy increase, and the accuracy is important for him to land his damage. His attack speed, because you want him to be able to attack as fast as possible, get those fights over with. More crit damage, so it lets you know that even in his skills, he has a lot of crit damage for him to scale so high as he does. This is why my crit damage is high as it is because how much I invest into his crit damage, because that's the main part of his kit and what makes him work. Now, he do has some supportive skills, but not much. He's really selfish of a character, and then he does have some for self subjugation. And I've been using him in subjugation. Sometimes he does pretty decent. He's like either second or third on damage. I think on certain bosses, if I'm spamming his skill and I'm not using Osgod to just like really destroy things, he probably be number one on damage there, and that's without a decent subjugation weapon. So it goes to show how much damage he can really put out in comparison to my characters that do have subjugation weapons. So some more physical defense, and then when I it focused into his invasion rate, that really was a game changer on those higher floors when things get difficult. Because to see the enemy miss and not be able to hit him, because I mean, like even here on my stats, you look at my invasion, it's almost 200%. So he's definitely going to have them miss quite a bit, which is a good thing, as well as if using him in your other content. Because if you saw in that one PvP match, even though we got completely destroyed, I do use him there. He's a part of my abandoned mine team as well as my subjugation team, and pretty much everything. Because I put most of my focus on him now, and I'm getting away from Osgod because she's not bad. She's just OP, and it's like I don't want to be playing around with the most OP unit in the game all the time. That gets boring. Want to mix it up. Like in older games, and people that's been a part of this community for a long time know that I used to go by the title of the anti-meta. If you type in hashtag the anti-meta and like on Instagram, YouTube, you will see my content come up just because that was just the thing that I was all about, was playing around with the units that wasn't specifically a part of the meta or strong. So this is why I really wanted to go into Master Swordsman, because I liked them. I like the style. I'm really into samurais. Samurais is kind of my thing. I know a lot of people are into ninjas, but Naruto kind of killed the ninja thing for me. But that's another story that we're not going to get into. But you can see here, like some of the other skills, I didn't really invest into, and I went hard into his invasion. It's because I knew, and I value that skill so much because he died a lot early on when I was using him. Back before I got my 14-day tickets, and he was still like level 28. Like he couldn't survive well enough. So now I'm at a point where I'm thinking he's gonna be a lot better than my Lubu because my Lubu don't have insane skills into his. It's the same level ups into his skills as my swordsmen do now. So some of it is really expensive as you get lower, but I've been working towards getting it. Now I was debating on if I was gonna take him to level 32 just to get this skill. I mean, it starts off you have to put 381B, but you look at how much team power up it gets. Oh, sorry, I did get this skill. Yeah, this is beforehand. Yeah, because I got it at level 29. It's just I can't level it up anymore until 32. But yeah, but look at how much it costs. So yeah, I put a lot into this skill too just to get our team power up bonus so we can dish out more damage. And then at his level 30, he has gather power up stones, which will give you a few more power up stones, but nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. I mean, and then it's master at plus 8.63%, so it's not about to happen because it says sometimes gather power up stones sometimes. So I got an 8.63% for him to get power up stones. I don't know how much, but I really don't think it's anything significant. So it's really not important to level him to 30 for this skill. I believe 29 to get this skill, but I want to use him a lot, so I took him to 31 just so I can get more crit damage. You see, I got this at 8, but it's already starting to get really expensive because since he scales off of crit damage, I wanted to put a lot in, and then it's expensive to get to 32. You got, I think it's like 1.55C just to get him to 32, and I would really want to get him to 33 just to get this skill, and I'm like, not worth, at least not now. I think we'll be fine the way he is for now in just that regard. So let's look at some of his weapons and stuff. We'll start with like the epics because those are generally the important ones to go off of. Like you see, there's a little bit of team stuff. He got some things that scales off of crit damage and attack. Nothing too fancy. This one is the one we got equipped for our speed run, which also give us acquisition time down, which is an important thing. Like a lot of his is just scales off of damage for the most part. Most of it scales off of damage. If you look at it, then this one got the PvP attack. Now, where I was kind of disappointed was his karma weapons. For a character that scales off of damage, this one is pretty okay, but if you look at the scaling on it, it really doesn't get you a lot. Like, this next power up doesn't give me much. I mean, it'll be a lot of crit damage for him, and since he scale off of crit damage, it will be great for him to have that on crit damage, but it doesn't give a lot when this is just so much. Well, not this one. Is that one? Yeah, this one is just so much better for the team overall. Team bonus power up, well, 140. So this is going to scale everyone's stats so much higher. So even with the crit damage, it's not going to scale as great because everybody's going to do so much more damage just because their stats are built up 140 plus or times or point something on that multiplier that I don't quite know the numbers for, and I'm not going to sit and actually try to calculate it because I don't want to mess up math 1,000 times to figure out something like that to tell you guys. But just know that there is a multiplier that is given with this 140 that's going to be just so much more than just getting 14 or even 19% double on crit damage. So I mean, granted, yeah, if I want to selfishly put work into him, this would be great, but I think overall for the team, that one will be better. And then you got that acquisitions, power up cost down, acquisition time. This is great. Leveling this up is kind of good because you got team power up on the collection effect, and I'll have you know, if you don't know, your collection effects are permanent. So whenever you level it up, you automatically have these bonuses on your stats for your entire, well, for your entire team if it says team, but for only that character if it doesn't say team. So all this accuracy that I got, and more reasons why his accuracy is high as it is. If we look here, it should be like 400 something. Yeah, almost 500. So that's why that is that. And then his last Blessed Karma weapon, the Experience Return one. Now I want to level this up, bro. I haven't got enough of them because I haven't really focused in on his because I just deem his not important because his other weapons just work is fine the way they are. But I know once I level this up some, it's going to be a little bit better and I can get that extra experience that he so well deserves on this because I don't think I'm using that for the effect right now for experience, or am I? I might be. Or am I using? Yeah, I'm using his blue one right now because it just scales higher, like 42%. I'm sure I'm using that for the experience, and this is only 11. And even if I power it up once, it's only 23.4%. So it's just not worth right now. I have to put more into it. Probably by +3, it'll be better. But right now, it's just not nothing that's important for him to have. Now, like I said before, I use him in my subjugation, which we're not going to show any of that because that would just make these runs so much longer. But you can see he's in my subjugation teams here. Then if I go over to abandon mine, something that I need to do as well because I haven't done that today. You can see he's in my main setup for my abandon mine. And just some of what I've been working on and working towards as far as building my swordsman. And you can hear him now over there, whoa, putting those hands on things. Look at things die. And he just teleport all over the place and kill stuff. Like, he's definitely one of my favorite characters to use right now. And if you're looking to build him and work on him, my main points, like I said prior to, make sure you have good crit rate, good crit damage. He scales off of crit damage, so you want to have strong crit damage for him. Make sure his invasion is up so he doesn't take damage, as well as having a bit of physical defense and magic defense, mostly physical on his side just because he doesn't get a lot of magic defense power-ups. For him to, if he does take damage, take the least amount of damage as possible. Don't be just a glass cannon out here. It's cool. I mean, it does get you high if you build all into your attack, but you know they're gonna fall off at some point, right? Right. That's pretty much the big thing. Oh, and one more thing that I forgot, his costume. His costume is not the biggest thing to get early on, but it does give you 30 into monster weakening and extra crit damage and accuracy for him. So that 30 monster weakening is going to be good. He has a pretty solid costume, and then I like how it looks though. It got that old samurai flair to it, so that's a good thing in its own too. And I've put a lot of experience into him, 4.92C. So you can see that I really put the work for him to be as good as he is and do what he do for me. This best record in this Battle Force run, he was a part of the team that did it. I think the only difference was I didn't have Tempest. I still had Osguardian at that time. But I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned some things about Master Swordsman. We're going to be doing some more spotlights for each character until we get it all done. It's just going to take me some time to get them because I got to build them, level them up. I was going to do Lubu, but I think I want to hold off on that. Maybe, I don't know. I might do him next. If you do want me to do him next, say that down in the comment section below. If you want to see a spotlight on your favorite character in the game, you can leave that down in the comment section below. Make sure you join our Discord where all the good stuff happens there. Link to that will be in the description box below, as well as the pinned comment below. And this is your host, Gamer Dude 2088, and I'm out. Don't forget to like the video if you like it. If you don't like it, there's a button for that too. And subscribe here if you're new. Turn those post notifications on. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.